Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Content Creator Podcast. I'm your host, Serge Creator, and this is the podcast for creators of all types who want to know what works with the content creation. We have amazing guest today, professional video creator, owner of YouTube channel with 500,000 of subscribers, more than 10 years in the industry. Hello and welcome, Armando Ferreira. I'm so excited to have you on today.
Thank you for having me in your beautiful apartment place. This is awesome. I love the views here.
This was a long time that we set up this podcast, and I'm so excited to have you on today. So I will ask you a few questions about your professional career.
Sure.
Okay? Tell us more how you started and what was your background.
So I started I started filming when I was a kid. I used to just grab the camera. I think everybody that is into filmmaking kind of starts like that. We had a small VHS camera and we would just record little short films and movies. And then as I got older, I wanted to move to Hollywood and, do like real film productions, but it just felt like impossible, right? So I started working on doing small commercial work. So I would go to like different areas. So I started with dealerships because I've always loved cars. So I started working with a couple dealerships and I would work on their marketing. So I would create videos, and I probably created, no joke, and you could probably still see them on YouTube. There's probably like over 1,000 videos that I've created for dealerships. So I would take my little Canon 5D Mark II, set up, do little small commercial bits, and they would love it. It was great because they could email it out to customers, and they had like, sometimes we would bring in like other people like for testimonials, right, for the dealerships, so that we would create like testimonial videos. We would create car commercials, and it was awesome. And then finally, long story short, one day, YouTube came along, and I was like, man, this seems like a fun little platform where I can create my own content and not really have to worry about other people's work. And yeah, pretty much started my YouTube channel like just a little under 10 years ago. And
wow, that's awesome.
Now we're doing a bunch of other stuff, camera reviews and stuff. So
yeah, that's awesome. And what was your learning process? How you become a professional videographer?
Gosh, it's funny because I don't even consider myself a professional. I don't know. I think the learning process honestly was just a lot of trial and error. I am a geek, so for me, it's always experimenting. Even today. Like we will sit and, Connor and I will sit there and, let's set up a frame and try it so many different ways to see what looks best. And I think the only way to really learn is literally going out there and doing it. I know that sounds very cliche. Everybody says, just go out there and do it.
Exactly.
But it's so true. You have to go out there and experiment. Granted, I do look up to a couple of other filmmakers like Shane Hurlbut, who's a filmmaker, DP. He has always tried to help young cinematographer. So he has his like online course, and I've been a subscriber for many years. But again, the trial and error, going out there, filming, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, is probably the biggest, experience I've had, is actually going out and doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how long are you in business as a professional videographer? Because you have some clients, commercial shoot and everything.
Right.
How long are you doing?
Well, I started over 10 years ago, but I don't really do that anymore. So the reason why is because when you deal with like client work, you probably know this, you have to, it becomes more like a job. It feels like a job, right? It's like, well, I'm shooting for them and this is not really what I want to do. I think for me, what's really helped me out is YouTube has enabled me to pretty much have or be able to do this for a living. In other words, create content for YouTube and not really have to go out and shoot commercial work. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy doing that, but that's not something that, in fact, I used to have a website, I took it down because I'm not looking for work. I'm not looking to go out and create videos. Like if I want to do something, I want to do it for my channel. I don't want to go out there and do like, unless it's don't get me wrong, unless it's something like really, really big, like, I don't know, maybe if a company reaches out, like a big company, I won't say any names just because, nobody sponsors, as far as I know, nobody's sponsoring this podcast, but I don't know, maybe if like a car company reached out and said, hey, we want you to shoot a commercial for our car, that's a different story. But in terms of like me actively looking for clients, that's not something that I'm doing anymore.
So your business right now is YouTube?
Absolutely, 100%.
Like 100%
100%
of YouTube.
YouTube.
And you like have paychecks from Google basically, right?
Yeah, so-
or like you like have product placements.
Yes. So there's several ways you get paid with YouTube. So for the people that are listening in and probably maybe not understand fully how YouTube works. So YouTube, when you sign up to become a creator, after you have so many hours and you've published, X amount of videos with a certain amount of views, you can join what's called the partner program, which allows you to earn not a lot of money. I'm going to be honest. When it first started, it was a lot of money, but now it's become so diluted. But you become a partner and they pay you for products or for ads that they place on top of your videos, right? So like I'm sure a lot of people watching have been on YouTube and then they see an ad that plays before, sometimes in the middle, and sometimes after. So you get a percentage, a very small percentage of that. That's one way to get paid. The other way is through sponsorships. So for example, let's say, we're using this microphone and, we really like it. And let's say the company or brand reaches out and says, hey, we see you using this microphone or we want to sponsor one of your videos. Would you be interested? So then in that case, then that becomes a sponsor video. And then there's money exchange there for you to basically create a commercial, in other words. The third way is through affiliate income. So affiliate income means that you're not necessarily doing a sponsor. Like for example, in fact, it just moved, but it was on the channel here.
Yeah, yep.
The last one, or the third one there, it's best microphones under $100, right? That video was not sponsored. So we took 4 microphones that were under $100 that we thought were, microphones that people would be interested. And what we did was we created a video to showcase how each microphone sounded in different environments. And then basically let the audience decide which microphone they like best. And then at the bottom of the video, there's affiliate links, meaning that, I'm not trying to tell you which microphone is better. You decide. But if you do end up buying one of those microphones, then I get a commission from it, which in this business is very lucrative because you can make a lot of money through affiliate income. So
we already started to talk about your YouTube channel. Give advice for other people to start their YouTube channel and grow it. Is it like time 10 years so they can like do it faster?
So it's funny you say that because I'm kind of doing somewhat of an experimental new channel. So I started a new channel right now for, it's basically my Spanish channel. And I'm not really promoting it. I'm trying to be as organic as possible. Granted, there are people that are going to find me and it's just going to kind of trickle down. But honestly, it's just a lot of time. It's going to take some time. I don't think there is no easy way. I think that there are people out there that could, potentially blow up. I mean, there are those anomalies out there that they're just like create a couple videos and oh my gosh, like Peter McKinnon was one of those creators where, he just kind of came out of left field and all of a sudden he just blew up. I think it's a very rare case that you're going to find somebody like that is just going to put out several videos. And even him, I mean, it took him a couple years, I think maybe 2 years before he actually blew up. But, seeing my Spanish channel, I feel like after the year, I'm about to hit that 1 year anniversary in January. I'm starting now to see the growth, right? So it was a very slow start, like a snail. And, it could be discouraging. I think the feedback that I would tell people is start YouTube as a hobby, right? I think the wrong approach is looking at it to see like, I'm going to make money off of it. I think if you go onto YouTube trying to become a millionaire, that's the wrong mindset, right? I think if you genuinely want to create content, do it because you want to put something out there. If the content is good, the money will come later. I'm a true believer of that. So, if you have a 9-to-5 job, do your 9-to-5 job. And then after you get off work on yourself, work on your content. And then slowly what you're going to realize is that your content, your channel will start to grow. And then all of a sudden, you'll probably start making about close to what you're making now. And then one day you'll make just as much as you are with your current job. And then you could tell your boss, adios.
Yeah, that's awesome. So basically for new creators who want to start on YouTube, what they want to do, focus on quality of the content, right? What about consistency? If can I post like 1 video a month, or I should put it like 3 videos a week, or how it works?
I think if I knew the answer to that question, then I would obviously follow it. Nobody really knows. There's people out there that I have seen that post one video a month, and oh my goodness, they get millions of views, right? And there's people out there that post every day and they get no views. So I think it's just one of those algorithm luck of the draw kind of thing. I think, of course, you do want quality and consistency, but also it really depends on the content that you're focusing on, right? Like, for example, right now, ironically, everybody's talking about Pokemon. Pokemon's like the big thing right now, right? So with the whole, yeah, because of Logan Paul creating a video about it. But, you know, Pokemon right now is like hot. I'm sure if anybody right now was to create something related to Pokemon, it would probably do very well because it's a relevant topic right now. But if they're just going to maybe create a video that's not so relevant and it's just maybe, I don't know, maybe like something that's not happening currently in the world right now, it may not do so well. So I think if you want to grow quickly, you almost have to follow trends to see what's going on right now and stick to it. But at the same time, following trends may not be something that you might be interested in. For example, me, I don't really care about the trends. You know, I just care about creating dope stuff. Now, I could create dope stuff with the trends. Like, for example, maybe tomorrow we can go shoot something about Pokemon to follow that trend. But I would have to be really interested in Pokemon, not just because I want to do it for the trend. So I think it's just one of those things that, honestly, the way I have found out that works the best, if you can do this, is collaborations. Mm-hmm. We're collaborating right now as we speak. People follow you. People listen to your podcast. I'm sure, you know, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand are going to come and find me because of our collaboration, right? Same thing. Like if we were to collaborate on my channel, people then will find you. So I think if you want to grow, collaboration is always a good way to you know, start your channel. In fact, Connor, who works with me, we've collaborated on videos, and typically for the most part when we collaborate, you know, his videos end up doing very well, especially when I create a video and he creates a video and we kind of just both share, like we cross-pollinate, that usually ends up doing really well. So if you're a smaller creator or a smaller channel with less subscribers, collaboration is key.
Yeah, and actually about collaboration, recently you collaborating with Potato Jet, right?
Yes.
Comparing Sony and camera. Can you touch on that? Can you tell a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so interesting you brought that up. So Potato Jet and I collaborated over a year ago on Sony and Canon, and that video did very well for both of us. We both equally benefited, and that's the idea. When you collaborate, it's, you know, for the most part, it's to benefit both parties. So a year ago we collaborated. So I was like on the Sony camp and he was on the Canon camp. And funny enough, you know, a year later, it's like, wouldn't it be funny if we did the same thing, but now the roles were reversed? So that's kind of what we did. We kind of just revisited that friendly collaboration video that we did a year ago. And interesting enough, it worked out. I mean, we both did really well. His channel, or, you know, his channel's been doing great, not because of me, but I'm saying his channel's been doing awesome. And I know that when he posted that video, a lot of followers came to my channel, and I'm sure some of my followers trickled down to him too. But yeah, it's fun. And, you know, a lot of times, you know how it is as a creator when you are, you know, as a self-creator, or even if you have somebody working with you, it can get lonely at times. You know, it just, you know, a lot of times, even, you know, Connor helps me out a lot too with just ideas and stuff to come out with. And even so, we sometimes hit that creative wall where it's like, what are we going to do next? Or what do we do tomorrow? And when you collaborate with somebody else, the dynamics are so different, and it's almost like it feels fun. You know, it's almost, I look at it like we're stuck at our office and we're there. And then, you know, when you walk your dog and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm outside. So I don't know. It just feels like that. Like we're going to go out and have fun. So I always like to collaborate with other creators. It's a good way to grow.
Yeah, that's awesome. And a little bit about trends. So you mentioned that you have to follow trends, right? Do you have tools or the tricks how to follow trends, where to track them?
Yeah, so Google actually has a website called Google Trends that shows what is currently a hot topic that is trending today and yesterday, and you can see whole graphs and stuff like that. So that's always a good one. You can also check YouTube trending page to see what is actually trending. So sometimes there might be like, you know, brand new music video from Post Malone, and people are making like parody videos of it or whatever. But, you know, YouTube is another way where you could check certain trends. There's also, for example, just the market itself. So you have, you know, new cameras. We know about this. We know that, oh, these cameras are coming out. So they're going to be trending. You know, like when the Sony A7S III, the R5 were coming out, these are cameras that we know are trending. Or, for example, the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. We know that those are consoles that were announced and that's trending. And when they come out, we also know that they'll probably be trending again. So it's just setting that up. So like if my content was about gaming, right? Let's say that was my channel. Let's forget about filmmaking for a minute here. So if I focused on gaming and I knew that the Series X was going to come out, you know, whatever, November, whenever it comes out, I would have content ready to go so that when it gets released, I have videos like, you know, first impressions or stuff like that. Even just kind of a catalog of videos just so that I can bank on that trending, you know, SEO that PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X will have. So that's what I would recommend. And sometimes, you know, you can predict these kind of things based on the release date. So you could be a little bit smart about it. And we try to do that. So for example, you know, for the Sony A7S III, we had early access to that camera. Same thing with the R5. So we have to work harder because it's trying to beat everybody else. And that's why if you go to the channel right now, those videos that we did with the R5 and, you know, the Sony A7S III, they did very well because we were ahead of everyone else. I shouldn't say everyone, well, for the most part, because there were other people that did have those cameras also. But for the most part, in terms of the mass consumer market, we were ahead of everybody else.
How you did it? Why you had like early access to this camera? How it's possible?
Well, it's funny. I actually didn't even reach out to Canon. They reached out to me, which I thought was interesting. And they asked me, would you be interested in, you know, checking out the R5? And I thought that was pretty amazing. So I said, of course, yes. On Sony, I do have a contact at Sony. So Sony, I reached out to them and I said, hey, you know, I see a lot of people reviewing this camera. Would you know mind sharing some love over here? And yeah, they were very kind enough to overnight us A7S III and let us actually borrow it for a whole week. So it's cool because it gives us time to make content and, you know, be able to do stuff with it. So that's nice. I think that, kind of do a follow-up to growing your channel and stuff. There's other ways too that are very helpful. So for example, and we'll use filmmaking right now as an example. If you want to start getting review units, right? Because I feel a lot of people don't talk about this. A lot of the easiest way is, for example, so, you know, I'll use Shure again. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Shure, but, you know, their microphone, we're using their microphone here. You know, if I make a video about this microphone, and I bought it, of course, I'll send them an email and say, hey guys, just wanted to let you know, I love your microphone. I made a video. If you guys are interested in looking at it or even sharing it, here it is. 9 out of 10 times, they'll email you back and say, oh my gosh, that was awesome. That is great. By the way, if there's anything you need, let us know. So that's kind of key. It's almost like, let me scratch your back and then they'll scratch your back eventually. So it's key to almost do the work first. And here's the thing. I mean, if you genuinely like a product, if you paid for it, why not make a video out of it, right? So that's kind of my thing is if you're trying to get deals like that, just look around. There's a lot of products here that you can make videos on and reach out to that company and say, look what I did for you in a way. And then you'll be surprised. A lot of times they're like, hey, you know, we'll be happy to help you out or happy to like, and, you know, at least keep you in mind for any other future products.
Yeah, I have a very popular question for you.
All right, go for it.
What's better, Sony or Canon?
Oh my gosh. You know, they're both great. Honestly, I think right now, any camera, Sony, Canon, Fuji, Panasonic, they all have amazing quality. I think that at the end of the day, it just really comes down to what you are trying to do with that camera. So if you film weddings, that requires a specific camera. If you're shooting commercial work, right? If you're doing professional commercial work, that requires a specific camera. And I feel that almost every manufacturer has a type of camera for the type of field that you are trying to do work on, you know? Personally, for me, I use Canon because it fits my workflow. You know what I mean? So for me, like, I like the ease of use. I like the image quality that I can get out of it without really having to like mess with it so much. I like the lens configuration. I mean, here's the thing. If I go shoot a commercial right now and I rent an Arri Alexa, I know that I can get it an EF mount, right? It's going to work with all of my lenses. I know that if I want to use a Blackmagic, I know that it's EF mount. I know that I can, you know, in fact, I know that even if I wanted to use a Sony, I can use an EF lens with that Sony camera. However, the same can't be said. I can't use Sony lenses on my Canon cameras. You know what I mean? So the lens selection, there's just a lot of things. But that's not to say that I don't like what Sony's doing. Or I mean, Sony's doing awesome stuff, especially with the A7S III. I think it's an outstanding camera for what it offers.
Mm-hmm. So now it's on the market two beasts, right? R5 and Sony A7 III, right? Which one would you prefer? I know that you have R5 and you're a Canon shooter. Mm-hmm. Maybe you, let's try to imagine a situation that you don't have a Canon and Sony. Which one you buy?
So you're saying R5 or A7S III?
Yeah.
I would go with the R5 only because I feel as a photography camera, so the A7S III, although some people might argue that you can still take, and you still can take good photos with it, but oh my goodness, the 45 megapixels on the R5 is just beautiful. I mean, it's amazing. So to me, I would go with the R5 mainly because it features more, from a photography point of view, it's stronger. Where the A7S III, it's not as strong. Also, I personally like the RF mount system. I think the lens selection is amazing. Something that I still think Sony is somewhat lacking. Like, sure, you have more E-mount lenses, but the RF lenses that are available today and the ones that are coming, you know, soon from their lineup are just honestly revolutionary in a way, because there's nothing out there in the market right now like the 15 to 35 IS with 2.8. There's nothing even close to that on Sony, right? That's like a vlogger's dream, you know, 15 to 35, perfect, right? With image stabilization. Also, the R5 has 8, like the in-body image stabilization is in 8 axes. So, you know, it's just really good. Overall, again, I sound like a fanboy right now with the whole Canon thing. Again, but it goes back to the whole workflow thing. It fits my workflow better. But for somebody that says, I don't really care about photos, I don't really care, I shoot weddings. Well, the A7S III is probably going to be better for weddings because of the low light capability, you know?
Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit. What's your main desire as a video creator? What's your goals?
Well, gosh, you know, I just want to make stuff that I'm proud of. You know, every video that I create, for me, it's like, I want to make sure that when I look back, it's something that I'm proud of, that also the experience, right? Like sometimes I sit back and, you know, we talk with other, you know, filmmakers and we remember the time, oh, remember when we were on set and this happened and this, like it's to me, it's about the story. Life is a journey, right? And at the end of the day, man, this is all you have. At the end, when you're at that, like, hate to say it, on your deathbed, right? You're just gonna remember these stories. This is what you take with you, and nobody could take that away. You know, it doesn't matter how much gear you have. It's the stories, the experience that you have. And to me, the goal is to continue to do that, to continue to have experiences like sometimes we sit here and it's like, man, this is a pretty amazing life that we live and the experiences that we've had so far. I'm pretty grateful for that, you know, that I've been able to go to different, you know, parts of the, you know, world, United States, or even visit unique places or be a part of certain things that normally I don't think I would be able to, right? And I think it's because of the knowledge, the people I know. I mean, it's a journey. So I think for me, that my goal is to continue to do that and also provide, you know, help other people too. That's always been a thing for me. I've always tried to help people out because I'm a true believer in reciprocation, right? You have to help people. People have helped me, and I don't forget that, you know, and it's like you got to kind of pass that along.
That's amazing. I actually interview so many creators, and like 90% of people just answer me, I want to help people. Can you imagine that? That's so cool that creators really want to help people. And that's really great. So what's your main struggle as a video creator?
My main struggle is probably not having enough time. I feel that, I mean, it's just, I have so many ideas, and some of them are crazy, and some of them cost a lot of money, and some of them require a lot of time. But trying to juggle, you know, YouTube business, I have a family, 3 kids. So it's like my time is spread very thin. So for me, time is the thing that has been the biggest struggle.
That's, I totally feel it.
Yeah.
Have you a separate studio from your home? Especially now with COVID, are you working from home?
So it's funny you say that, because at first, I did have my own studio. I had it for a little over a year, and then I bought a house that had a area for a studio, which was perfect. So it just kind of made sense. And then we were looking at studios. We were already like, you know what? As soon as the year starts, we're going to move. We're going to go to a studio space. And then COVID hit. And that was kind of scary because, you know, nobody knew what was going to happen. So at the time, I thought to myself, oh gosh, I'm so glad I did not get a studio space, because this would have been a problem, you know? Right now we're working from my home studio, but you know, things are finally normalizing. I say normalizing. I mean, it's like, people, we're still technically on lockdown somewhat, you know, but, you know, things are getting a little bit more normal. I think something that we probably will revisit in a couple months for sure.
Okay. And what was the most exciting and remember project you took a part with?
I think the most exciting project has been the Nikon film that we did. I think it was a year ago, actually. It was a year ago. Yeah, it was exactly a year ago. Well, in July, it was a year ago. That was something that, oh my gosh, it was just, we were very ambitious with the script. It was low budget. We tried to do something that just required way more money than what we had. And the fact that everybody that was a part of this put all of their blood, sweat, and tears into it, you know, at the end of the day, man, that's what like filmmaking's all about, you know, that everybody has this passion that basically contributed to this project to make it what it was, you know? And it was an amazing experience, man. Very little sleep. I think we were sleeping like 3-4 hours max a day. It was like felt like a 4-day shoot, but it was a 3-day shoot. And it was incredible. It was definitely one of those, remember I talked about when you're lying on your deathbed? That's one of those stories that you talk about. It was a great memory. I love those.
That's awesome. And regarding this project, I just had in mind the question, how you manage big files, especially now it's a very popular cloud-based system, right? I'm uploading all my files in the cloud and can share easily with my team, right? But it's like content creation, it's not that heavy files. If it's like commercials, red cameras with the heavy files with 4K, so is it possible to manage everything via cloud, or we have to have like physical storage?
Well, I have a server, and in my server, I can allow people, because my server is on 24/7, and I also have pretty fast internet. We get 1 gigabit, so that's pretty fast. So if we have a project, I can let people access that folder on my server, because my server is never off. And this will allow us to, you know, everything we do is we do it from the studio, you know, not remotely, we do it locally. And then if we do need to do anything remotely, I could give access to somebody. But for the most part, we're always mostly doing local stuff, local area networking. So it's not really remote. If we do, we just give them access to our shared folder, and usually they'll be able to download it So.
They're using maybe proxies because heavy files you will store on your server, right? They can use proxy.
Well, we're not doing any editing, if that's what you're saying. Yeah, if you were doing editing from a server, then yeah, you would have to use proxies. But no, I'm mainly, what I mean by file sharing, it's mainly like sharing the footage with them, and then they could do whatever they want with them. We're not really doing any editing. The only editing that we're doing is locally and from our local area network, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And let's talk about a little bit your personal brand. So I know YouTube, right? You just have half a million followers, subscribers. So what about Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and different social media channels? Are you working on it as well?
The only one that I really care about the most, well, there's two. There's Instagram. I like Instagram. Personally, I just like Instagram. Although I should be posting more. Funny, it's like after we're done here, we're gonna go take some pictures for Instagram. But yeah, I just again, you know what we talked about, the time. There's no time. I feel like I have no time to go and take pictures, and you know, Twitter's one that I like personally, just for conversation. I like Twitter just to communicate with other creators, other people. I feel like Twitter is one where I don't need to post a picture and feel like, you know, that I need to do that to spark a conversation. I can just post a comment and, you know, we can start a conversation. Whereas Instagram, it's like, oh gosh, I got to take a nice picture, you know, just to make it look good. And that's going to take me time to edit it. And oh my gosh. And so, yeah, that takes a while. But Twitter and Instagram are the ones that I pretty much care about the most. Facebook, I just kind of have it linked to my Instagram. So whatever I post on Instagram just kind of trickles down to Facebook. And then I don't really do TikTok. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm too old for that.
Yeah, this is like crazy videos over there. And Instagram have the option like Reels right now, right? It's like similar to TikTok, so we can try this one.
I feel like Instagram has become the new TikTok now.
Yeah, this was exactly what was with the stories and Snapchat, right?
That's right.
And now nobody using Snapchat, so I don't know. Maybe TikTok will be on the market, but yeah. So, what do you think about creators who like visual content creation? You know, we have like only video creators, or we have like just photographers, or wedding photographer, or just somebody who just specialized in something specific. What do you think about creators who can do like everything in one time and help businesses to grow?
Well, I mean, we as YouTubers, I sometimes feel like we do everything. We're like, okay, we're the talent. We're working on camera department. We're doing lighting, grip. I mean, I think it's amazing if you can do it all. Obviously, it's helpful and it's beneficial because it's good to know a little bit about everything, and I just think that it's always great to have knowledge in all of these different fields, especially. Well, it depends on what you want to do for a living, but it's, you know, if we go on set and there's somebody talking about audio or something, you know, related to like lighting, being on set and knowing what everybody's like, you understand that lingo and the communication, I think it's great. I think if you can do that, you know.
From the business side, I want to give advice as well to creators who just struggling with the business, especially in COVID, right? It's hard to find the clients, etc. Maybe you have some knowledge or experience so you can share. What's your advice on getting clients for videographers and photographers?
You know, I think it kind of goes back to what I said earlier about, you know, if you're a YouTuber, what do you do? Like if you make a review of a product, right? One of the things that I started doing, and I'm a true believer of this, when I started doing videos for dealerships, and even before that, I used to do videos for like restaurants and stuff like that. So my approach was this, and I feel like it has not changed. It'll still work, is, you know, if you approach, let's say you're a real estate, right? Let's say you sell real estate, and I say, you know, I'm a real estate videographer, right? Let me go film one of your homes. I'll do it for free. Let me go film. Let me show you what I can do. If you like it, hire me. You have nothing to lose, right? And I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times, they'll give you a chance. I'm like, look, let me do it. I'm not going to charge you a dime. I promise you. This is what I want to start my portfolio. I'm just starting off building a portfolio, and let me just do it. If you don't like it, again, you don't have to hire me. You go out there, you do an incredible job, right? And now they're going to look at your work, if you're good, of course. And then wow, you're really good. And then they're going to hire you. But you can also use that for leverage. Because if I've never done this before, now I can go to the other real estate guy and say, even though, this is like a gray area. It's like, look what I did for that guy. It doesn't say that you're not saying that he paid you, but it's like, you see that real estate over there, that whatever that real estate company, won't mention any names, but you see that, this is what I did for them. I recorded this $2.5 million home. Let me do the same for you. I won't charge you. Now, all of a sudden, what are you doing? You're building a portfolio, and eventually that portfolio will start getting bigger and bigger, and it's like you're building your reputation. So I think people that right now are struggling should do that. They should reach out to companies that they want to work with or things that they want to do, and create those pieces so that in return, when they see it, wow, that's amazing. Like if you came up to me like, Armando, let me work on your thumbnails. And I'm like, I'll do it. Okay. And I'll let you do a thumbnail and it comes out great. I might be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I'll just have him do my thumbnails because I don't have the time. So it's just about you starting the fire, creating that interest, right? As opposed to waiting for something to happen. Because if you're going to wait for something to happen, it's probably never going to happen.
Never going to happen. That's really true. What's your next collaboration with? Who you want to collaborate with from famous people?
Honestly, I would love to collaborate with probably somebody from Hollywood, like director, like maybe David Fincher or somebody like that. That would be fun. I think that would be exciting because, Hollywood is in their own world, and I feel like people are finally starting to realize like, hey, YouTube is actually something serious. I mean, I think people used to think Netflix was a joke. Look at Netflix now. They're creating originals, right? Look at Apple TV. They just kind of followed suit, right? Amazon and their whole, video platform. So I think that I would love to collaborate with like a director, DP, from Hollywood. I think that would be amazing.
Do you want to produce for them, right? Do you want to have your name on the video?
Well, I mean, even just being together, it doesn't even, here's the thing. I would be happy even if it's something that nobody even knew. Like it's not, like we don't have to necessarily produce, just being around those people that have so much knowledge and learning, almost like shadowing them in a way. I think that would be incredible. That to me is a collaboration in itself. I don't feel that a collaboration has to be public. Like, for example, you and I could do something off camera, no podcast, and we're collaborating because we're learning from each other. That, it doesn't have to be like, I want everybody to know that, I collaborated with this person. I don't think it necessarily has to be like that. But for me, I think being able to communicate, ask questions, shadow, learn, and I don't know, maybe they'll learn something from me. That would be fun. So
it's 100%. Armando, thank you so much. Where people can follow you? What's your social media channels?
I made it very easy. Everything at Mondo Bytes. That's BYTES, like megabytes. So everything. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, not TikTok. But actually, I do have a TikTok, and it is at Mondo Bytes, but I don't post anything there. So don't follow me. But everything at Mondo, MONDO BYTES.
Armando, thank you so much for joining me today. So yeah.
Thanks, brother.